Greetings, salutations, hola, ¿cómo estás? Bonjour. What's up? You are watching the CCP podcast with the Mad Hatter, Rafael Delgado.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live right here on Twitch. I am Chris Page. This is a Tuesday evening. Fantastic to see so many of you here in chat. And if you're catching us over on YouTube on replay, welcome. You should probably come over to Twitch and check us out live because this is where it's going down just about every night of the week. And I could not be more excited to sit down and talk to my guest today. We're going to dive right into things. I stumbled into Fightt Pro out of Jersey, and I came across Fightt because I randomly saw two of our friends from up north. They were randomly booked on a show, and I said, let me go over and check this company out. I did, and I saw this company was accepting sponsorships. I dove right in on that and was able to sponsor Samuel Fawzi and Tim Dynamite for a show that they had. I want to say it was last month or the month before last. And now we're coming back around, and they've got another big show coming up at the end of the month here in September. We're going to talk all about that here in just a second. But we can't do that without the man himself, the Mr. Put some respect on that. Mr. Ernie. What's going on, brother? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. How are you?
Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the support as always. You know, Fight's a growing company, and I grow, you grow, we all grow. So let's do it.
That's the name of the game, man, and it's a beautiful thing. When we say on our channel all the time, professional wrestling can bring people together if you allow it to. And this is a situation with us. Like again, our paths crossed initially because I saw Samael and I saw Tim Dynamite as well as Primal Fear booked on a show that you had going on up there, and immediately reached out and said, "Hey, I know these guys, and what can we do?" And I think I actually, when I went to the Instagram page, I saw that you were looking for sponsors, and I saw that they were still available, and I went, "Sign me up, let's make that happen." And we did, and a loss. Here we are. It's turned into more than just we share some DMs back and forth and keep up with the product. You were very instrumental when we did a down the rabbit hole on Fightt, but we're going to talk a lot about it, obviously, as we get going. But first of all, I got to start things off by just asking you again, man, how's things going? How's everything with you? And tell us a little bit about Fightt Pro Wrestling.
So everything, I mean, I can't complain, everything's been great. Fightt was actually cultivated. So believe it or not, I'm 11 years sober as of 2 days ago.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. And when I got sober, a friend of mine, Mike Raddick, the creative producer of Fight Now, Jason Heat, and a guy, Mike Valentine, had created a company called Fight. And back then it was Federation of Independent Grapplers, High Flyers, and Technical Pro Wrestlers. And they were the inception of Fight. So I did not own it at that time, but in those moments, they brought me on when I got sober, and that's where I really started my career again. I had been there prior to that, but I wasn't in good shape. They weren't really on their feet yet, but then as time rolled on, I got sober, and they gave me a job. And that was my first time back into wrestling as a professional wrestler, being sober. And it was some of the best time that I had because I actually got to wrestle sober, which was huge for me. So Fight was a big piece of me. And what they did was a big piece, kind of like how we have the divisions now. It was a little bit different back then. It was about a high flying, there was high flying rules, there was grappling rules, and there was technical rules. So there were 3 different styles that they were trying to portray. And I just wanted to be a part of it. It was different, and I love different in pro wrestling because there's so much of the same going on.
Well, first of all, again, I said, congratulations on 11 years sober. I know all about that, all too well myself, and battled my own demons. That's why I got out of professional wrestling 20 some odd years ago. Not kidding. I laced my first pair at 17, and I was on the road at 18, and was
Yeah.
traveling all over the South until I was 23, 24, 25 years old. Nope. And never thought that I would get back into it. And it's funny because, like, I never know how I connect or how I'm going to connect with our guest when I bring them on. And you and I had not talked about that at all. It is very
No.
much, common knowledge amongst my team that, yeah, man, I definitely I consider myself a recovering drug addict. So to be able to connect again just like that is so wild to me, because this is how I got back into professional wrestling, was just watching it and doing little odds and ends, and it was my way of dipping my toe back into it, to to see, because I haven't done anything in 20 25 years, give or take. So it's very interesting, and like I said, I know that fight, I know that struggle all too well. And again, it every day is a struggle, for in some form or fashion, because you just got to keep on plugging away and keep on going. You're getting massive shout outs from UK Paul, who's obviously over in the UK. So UK, you're on with Ernie, the
Awesome.
man, excuse me, Mr. Ernie, the man behind Fight Pro Wrestling over here in the States, up in Jersey. When did it transition? I guess the ownership, as they brought you in initially, and now you're kind of running the show. How does that? What's the story behind that? How does that shake?
So I knew Mike was getting out of it, and I knew at some point I wanted to do something. This has always been a bucket list thing for me. Again,
Mhm.
when I was in active addiction, like I always was like, I want to have my own wrestling promotion, whatever it was, and I was always writing these ideas down and coming up with something. But like at the end of the day, I'd wake up the next morning and nothing would transpire because I had nothing to show for my life. So when I got sober, um, I just said, this is the time, man. This is the time. The time is now. I'm in a good spot. Like I can do something. And Mike, he basically, I mean, I think he sold me the rights to the name for like $300. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
it wasn't really much going on to it. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I got the rights. I mean, gave myself the LLC, and 2021, I want to say, like right around that time, 2021, 2022, we were really off to the races. The idea at first was to create something for somebody to invest in, something different, because at the time there wasn't a lot happening, and there was somebody that was interested, but then they wanted to see what the product would look like. Well, that person fell out of interest, and I I just said to myself, I want to continue this. I want to make this, and we'll see what happens after that. If anything happens, something happens. But at the end of the day, the goal between me and my team was to create something that nobody was doing, and Fight already had that kind of foundation built around it, and that's the rest was history. We started with one season, and we went into a second season, and now we're in our third season. And it's a little bit different now. We do quarterly shows. We were running 7 shows at one time, doing episodic television with it. Running
Mhm.
multiple live to tape format. But now it's really, we're trying to use YouTube in a different way that professional wrestling doesn't really use it, and we're trying to build to our next shows with social media platform and everything else involved, and get us to each show quarterly, basically.
Well, I like the quarterly format, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, there's a lot to unpack. So let me go to the quarterly format first. Our friends over in Portugal started out very similarly, about a year and a half ago, with WrestleFest Portugal. And I talked to Nelson Pereira, the man who's behind it. One of the men, excuse me, because if he's probably watching, he'd be like, "No, motherfucker, there's three." Uh, so, sorry, Nelson, the one of the three. But I told him then, just based off of looking at the product and seeing the enthusiasm and the passion that they had behind it, I said, "But you're going to be running monthly before you know it." And I'll be damned, 12 months later, he's running monthly. So it's definitely something that is so possible. and they started that out very, very similar, quarterly shows. But I want to go back to 2021 when you got the rights to it, and you started putting it together. What was that process like for you? Once you, I mean, again, you already got the base of what you want to do, but you want to make it your own. How do you incorporate that, and what does the road to the first season look like as you're navigating getting this company back up off the ground?
So it was a matter of what did we want. First off, I changed the acronym. So Fight is an acronym basically. It stood for, it was Fight with one T at one point. It stood for Federation of Independent Grapplers, High Flyers, and Technical Professional Wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to change it. I changed the acronym to Fiercely Independent Grapplers, Hybrid, and Tag Team Pro Wrestling, because the idea being was we were going to deliver 3 separate divisions. We were going to deliver a women's division, but we weren't going to have it be like, we weren't just going to call it the women's division. They were going to be called our grapplers. They were going to be our ground and pounders. They were going to be the ones who we could watch technically in the ring and see how they do without the use of the top rope, without the use of springboards. How everything looks as a ground game.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had, our hybrids, our men's division, basically. And with the hybrids, it was going to be a showcase of all different styles. That's what we were trying to incorporate there. How does everybody adapt to each different style? And the reason why we didn't go with technical was because it was going to be a part of everything else. And the other thing we wanted to showcase was actual tag team professional wrestling. What tag team wrestling looks like when you actually have to make hand-to-hand tags, and if you get caught, like you've watched before, there are violations in Fight. There's a rule set in Fight. And part of the rules in tag team wrestling, we've modified it now to make it a little bit easier for people, but like in our tag division, if you get a title match, there's a certain set of rules specifically made for that tag division, for that tag championship match. You have to be hand-to-hand tags. And another rule that is part of that is also your partner can't come in and always break up the pinfall. Mm-hmm. It's considered a violation if he breaks it up. We call it interference, basically.
Yeah.
So if he interferes in the pinfall, you get a violation. So you got to strategically plan out how you're going to use your violations. Otherwise, you'll receive a forfeit. And this was some of the ideas we had going into it. What else? The concept for season 1 really came. We were going to crown champions. Mm-hmm. So again, Fight is also built on a point system. You get 4 points for a referee stoppage or a standing 10-count TKO. You get 3 points for a submission or a pinfall. You get 2 points for a count out or a forfeit, and you get 1 point for a draw. And if the draw, whoever has the least amount of violations used at the end of the draw also wins an additional split decision point, so they can receive 2 points instead of 1. If it's draw, it's just straight 1 point. So it was we kind of took like the G1, but without the round robin style, and we took the point system, and we took the Ring of Honor pure rules, and we kind of blended it in with the general rule set of pro wrestling, and that's how we came up with season 1. And season 1 was going to be who was going to climb to the top, who was going to get first place and get the initial bye in the playoff tournament, who was going to get the wild card spots. Mm-hmm. We were trying to make it as sports centric as possible. Even in season 1, our first show, it isn't a wrestling. It isn't a event. Basically, it is a draft, and it is an introduction into Fight, and you get to see and you get to read the stats of each guy that came in. You get to see who got picked first, who was drafted first, and what round they were drafted in. So everything was really made to feel more sports centric than everything else you see on national TV or on the independents, basically.
Well, I can tell you this: when I was watching it back, because again, once I see some guys that I think are hella fucking talented that are attached to the product. Like I want to go and see the product. I want to see what they're, you know what I mean? That's just starts our platform. Our platform started overseas in Australia by throwing a dart at the wall, and it landed in Australia. I don't know if it's just because my aim was that fucking bad on that day or what, because if you've got a map on the wall, Australia's way over here. So I don't know what happened. I just know something happened and it landed in Australia. But we've been able to really cultivate and develop relationships, and with Falsey and Dynamite specifically. I just watched their stuff. That was the first time I sponsored them, but I had saw the opportunity to. And for me, it all boils down to, like, if I see something in like Dynamite and Falsey specifically, I see a lot in them. A lot. I've watched them for 15 months. There's a lot there, and it's worth investing in. And if that was the first opportunity that would arise that could happen, like, man, I wanted to jump on it. I wanted to take it, and damn sure did. And we'll do it again anytime that I see guys that I feel like need to be seen. And those two cats specifically are, I was like, fuck, let me go check them out. One of the first things that we saw on live is, and again, when we watch stuff, I'm watching it for the first time. I'm reacting to it. I have no inkling on what I'm watching. I'm just pulling random matches. The one thing that came to mind was the system, the disqualification system, or the what did you call it just a second ago? The point system,
the violation
system.
Our
And I was like, wait. It took a second for Goth and I to like figure it out, but once we figured it out, I was like, I get it now. Okay, like, so you can't do this, and now you have to. If you're a heel, like, you really got to manipulate this referee if you want to pull some real shady tactics. It's almost like it takes me back to like Bill Watts when he was running WCW and he took away the over the top rope rule, or off the top rope rule, and you can't throw somebody over the top rope. So you had to go out of your way, to do a little work to make the payoff happen. And I got it, and I understood it at that point. When you were doing season 1 and into season 2, who were some of the talents that you knew for a fact that you wanted to get on board with this project as you were getting it up off the ground?
So there is a theme to Fight in season 1. My creative producer, Jason, he calls it the land of the forgotten, basically. Those who were left behind is what he actually says. And that was when, oh man, Ring of Honor had just had Final Battle, right? So we had started basically right after Final Battle, and Rhett Titus won the TV title, and then after that they went radio silent until Tony Khan had bought it. A lot of those guys, because I come from Ring of Honor, I was trained by Austin Aries in 2005. I had spent my time on the road from 2005 to 2012, and that's where I cultivated my craft, basically. That's where I got my ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I went from doing ring crew to doing guerrilla to doing backstage producing. It's how I got my start in the business.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those guys that came in were from Ring of Honor. You had Moses, you had Rhett Titus, you had I brought in the Mecca at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We had Primal Fear. Primal Fear was another part. Ryan Mooney was another part. LSG, Cheeseburger, world famous CB.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give these guys a place. Eli Isom. I wanted to give these guys a place to hone their craft and to make something feel like home again, because that's what ROH was for all of us. And that's when we also came across Super Crazy. This is another big thing I had. If I was going to do these shows, I was going to start working with the training facilities around. And O-Dog, who runs Super Crazy in the Skid Row Academy, that's where we first had our first show. And from there, that's where I met Sam out, and that's where I met Tim Dynamite. And that's where it's all started. I call them Team Skid Row, but they're really like day one Fight guys. Like they weren't on the first show. I think it was either the second show or the third show that we got them on. But they were there. They were helping. They were setting it up for us. They were doing anything we needed. Like it was like old school lodge, right?
Yeah.
Like they know what they know how to behave, how to act, how to respond in the professional. And I was like, we got to have these guys. And they started, you know, they lost a lot. They lost a lot. And at the last show, they actually got their first points on the board. Like the build to get to them where they are right now. It's been a very organic story, and it's a story that we can tell literally from the ground up. Same thing with like a Ryan Mooney. We had Logan Easton LaRoe, who was very much in like the Virginia area. We had Tiny Tonali, or Tonali, who's down in Florida. We even used Persha Pierce, who was down in Florida. You know, we tried to bring in Trisha Dora and Janai Kai. There were a bunch of girls, and then we found Gia Scott in MCW, and she was supposed to come in almost as a one-off, and now you're looking at the undefeated grappling division champion for the last 3 seasons, basically. 100% victories, you know, 6 title defenses, like you name it. She is the best at it right now. She is 10-0. Like nobody has the record she does. And this was somebody who we didn't plan on staying that long with us, you know, and now she's here to stay. Yeah. So that whole first season was really built around people who not only earned the chance, but just we wanted to showcase. There's another guy, the American Hammer, Matt Quay, right? This guy is as authentic as it gets, man. He is so high energy and just a ball of fire when he's in there. It's like a blast from like the 80s almost, man. He's got you know the mullet going on.
I love a good mullet.
American Hammer. Yeah, I love a good mullet. But this guy, he has it all. And we wanted to find the people that were hidden gems, and we wanted to polish them up and be like, yo, people, you're missing out on this. Because that's the other big thing about Fight. My goal, hopefully, as we build steam and pick up, is that people start getting noticed, you know? And they leave us. Because I want them to leave. And I want them to... the best thing that could ever happen to me is somebody looks at Gia Scott, or somebody looks at Rhett Titus, or somebody looks at an O'Shea Edwards or a Moses or an Eli and goes, man, we really missed something on them, and picks them up wherever they go, you know, hoping for the best for everybody.
No, I can appreciate that. I think the beautiful thing about independent wrestling right now is it's on fire everywhere, and as long as we don't fuck it up collectively, I think we're in good shape for the foreseeable future. And a large part of it is a lot of the younger talent that are out there and that are out there doing the thing. And I love the fact that you've took the concept and you've kind of rebuilt it a little bit, revamped it a little bit, and you've started this progression with the shows and building and creating and getting stuff together. What were some of the difficult challenges that you've faced thus far as you've built you're building back up Fight Pro?
Too much too soon.
Yeah.
That was comes back to learning through sobriety, right? Like you come to find out, like, you want what you want it now. And what I wanted this season to be something like I wanted to run almost like 11, 12 shows back to back to back once a month. And I found out that because I do everything in Jersey and I live on Long Island, that it was very difficult for me to do as much promoting as I wanted to around the local area. So I jumped in booking month to month to month, and and it kind of drained me. I didn't have the structure that I have now in front of me, where I could see everything for what it is. I could take the time to go up to New Jersey, to go promote, to go see the local businesses, to get in there, to be more involved, right? And then in doing that too, slowing down and running quarterly, I have allowed myself to create a new idea and a new concept of how I can maintain my standing on social platforms and YouTube and TikTok and all that other stuff, because that to me is like we were saying, it's such a necessary evil, right? Like you just have to be so involved with this stuff now. And that's how we've gotten more and more word of mouth out there. That's how we've gotten to where we are now. When I was doing it the way I was doing it before, I would gas out. I'm the sole funder, so I don't have an investor. It's just me, and I own another business, and I have a wife and 3 kids, that I got to take care of too. So
real life.
It's putting everything in perspective, right? Exactly. And as much as this is my passion, I also got to remember that I need to slow down, take it in day by day, or as we're doing now, quarter by quarter, and then maybe one day it can build back up into what it is now, or into what I hoped it to be. But that was it. It was jumping the shark sometimes. It was jumping the shark sometimes and just going on. No, because my biggest thing is, when we had to cancel a show, again, being a worker, the worst thing you could ever do is cancel a show like a week or 2 before showtime on somebody. That's a date that now that person. So, I had to make sure that these guys got taken care of, at least, a certain percentage of their rates and stuff like that, because again, I felt horrible. And I told myself I would never do that again, because I don't want to put anybody in that position. And that's when we decided, you know what? We're going to do the quarterly shows. We're going to make these events just as big, if not bigger. And we've brought in newer talent. Like we had Cedric Alexander come in to face Rhett at round 2. We had Dijak at round 1. We're going to have Serena Deeb at round 3. The first time the women take center stage as the main event for Fight. This is a huge thing for us, but it's a well-deserved thing. Gia has earned this position, and bringing in Serena from AEW ROH, it definitely fits the bill. It deserves the spot. So what we have done, and then we try to make sure we give back to the training facilities around us and give their guys a chance. Like I said, we work with Skid Row, we work with Monster Factory, we work with the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo. So we have our 3 connections that we really try to use. And if there's other places that we see that we want to work with, we bring them in, because that's what we want to do. Again, it goes back. I grow, you grow, so let's fucking go.
I am right there with you. So it's interesting because we're coming into doing our first show in November, and the way that I went about it is, very, because my fear too was having to cancel, right? So how could I eliminate that fear? Is what I had to tell myself, what I had to ask myself, and that's the only way I can eliminate that fear. Just go ahead and budget the show out. Make sure I've got this money in my bank account, it's straight. So regardless, I can pay this thing off right now, and it's done. It's over with. So if it doesn't draw a fucking dime, it isn't gonna hurt the guys that are coming in to do this thing. So I get it. I 100% get it. And what that looks like, and even being able to have to do that. But I can also appreciate the fact that you do what you do what you can to try and take care of those that gave the time, and you just mentioned something that I just think is incredible. Women taking the center stage at round 3, with Gia Scott and Serena Deeb. Round 3 is we're less than a month away. Let's take a few minutes and let's talk about the card. Let's talk about what the fans can be prepared to see, and what they should go out of their way to buy a ticket for. Because guys, it's right there on the screen. Eventbrite.com/enter the fight round 3 tickets. That's all you got to look for, and you got it. Shameless plug.
So yeah, like you said, we got the idea behind Fight was to never make it all about the men and the hybrid title. The idea was to rotate the titles around, and this is the first time we're actually getting to do that. And it's going to be Serena Deeb is coming in to challenge Gia Scott. Gia Scott has been issuing open challenges when contenders don't have points to cash in. And right now, there's no women in the rankings that can officially cash in points yet. The closest person is Vita Von Star, and she still needs, I think, about 4 more points. Now Vita is going to be in what I call round robin revolution. It is our take on a 3-way. There are no eliminations. The only way you win the match is by pinning both opponents. So you got to pin. She's in the match with Tiny Tenali and Rebecca J. Scott. So she has to pin Rebecca and she has to pin Tiny, one right after the other, if she wants to win. So, but in turn, you win points during this. So she could build up. She could essentially get 6 points and have enough points to cash in at the next show. But the same thing for Tiny. Tiny's, I think, up to like 3 points. She's pretty close, But the idea is to finally start giving these people who have earned it center stage. And again, so Gia Scott and Serena Deeb will main event for the grappling division title on September 28th in Paulsboro, New Jersey. You also have, you have the big bad kaiju, O'Shea Edwards. And he just won Premier Contention from Moses. Moses earned Premier Contention because the Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin, got injured, so he had to give up his spot as the Premier Contender. And Moses could have taken that shot whenever he wanted, but instead he put it on the line because he was supposed to have a match that night, and Moses doesn't back down from anybody. Anytime he's earned a bye or anything like that, he looks me dead in the eye and he goes, "I want a fucking opponent. Give me somebody now, please." And I'm not going to say no to him. Guy's freaking huge. So we let him choose, and out came LSG, and out came O'Shea Edwards, and O'Shea manipulated himself into this match, and he stole that Premier Contention from Moses. And O'Shea has been breathing down Rhett's neck since season 2. O'Shea came in and bodied 5 guys in season 2 in what we called our Fighters Mega Mix. It was where it's like a rumble, but it's elimination after elimination. It's not getting thrown over the top rope. You get pinfall, submission, knockout, whatever the case may be. You just eliminate. It's pure chaos. And Moses literally bodied 3 guys right on top of each other, pinned all 3 guys at the same time, and then took out another 2 after that. And then after Rhett's match in season 2, he came in and he stomped the hell out of Rhett and just laid the title right on him. And ever since then, O'Shea has been manipulating his way to this title, and Rhett has been the professional through and through, but lately we've been seeing cracks in his game. He has shown a lot of frustration. He pushed me the last show. O'Shea got in his face at the end of the match with Cedric, and all of a sudden I'm just trying to calm him down, and he pushed me, and I'm his best friend,
Paranoia may be setting in for the champion here now. And if that is the case, he's in a very dangerous spot, if you ask me, especially looking across the ring at O'Shea Edwards.
Yeah, O'Shea is a beast. And the other thing, too, is with the hybrid title, normally the fans get to vote on the stipulation for the match. However, because O'Shea has Premier Contention, O'Shea gets to choose the stipulations. And from what I've been told by his manager, Big Dust, he's looking at KO only. So standing 10 count makes the call. So if Red has a drop kick that can knock anybody out. He's been knocking out the majority of Rhett's victories in Fight, and I think he's 14-1, 14 or 15-1 right now. He has like a 93.6% winning percentage or something like that. But all of his victories have basically, with the exception of like one or two, have all come from drop kick knockouts. And I mean, I don't know if O'Shea is crazy, or I don't know if Rhett's going to be able to nail him. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in this one, but it is scary to see O'Shea Edwards in front of the professional right now.
Well, let me ask you this, because now if indeed we're talking knockouts only, is are the violations still in effect, or are there no violations at this point?
Nope, violations are still in effect.
Okay, all right. So it's legitimately all right. Cool.
It's the general rules. Like, so I don't know if you saw Last Fighter Standing with Cedric and Rhett.
I've not seen that one yet. No, sir.
Okay, so Last Fighter Standing was the general rule set of Fight. It was eye pokes, throw him out of the ring, hit it, ring poke, whatever, those violations. But the deal was it was almost like it had the Texas death match, kind of old school Texas death match style stipulation, where you got to pin the guy first, and then he needs to answer the standing 10 count.
Got it.
So it was more, we took away the whole idea of a blood feud, and we turned it into a conditioning match. And that's what the hybrid division really is. It's adapting to the condition you're in. How are you going to react and respond to the condition you're in under the rule sets of Fight? He won. Rhett won, but he used the rabbit attack to the back of the neck to hit his drop kick at the end to get the victory. So we've seen little drips and drabs, man, of Rhett, who used to never break the rules, starting to break the rules. Like, this is my boy. Like, this is like, when we made this, he was all about the pure professional wrestling. And like you said, it feels like his back is against the wall. I don't know what's going on. He's not really talking to me anymore, but I'm just hoping when he comes into this 110%, because O'Shea Edwards is on a tear right now. And that boy is huge, man. I ain't messing with that guy. This is why I got out of professional wrestling, man. This is much easier.
I'm telling you, and I'm not, who am I to tell Rhett Titus what to do and what not to do, but he's gonna have to come in here with his head on straight, or he might be walking into a very dangerous situation. And that's not saying that Rhett cannot take care of himself by any means, but it's fucking O'Shea Edwards. I mean, that's all I can say, man. It's fucking O'Shea Edwards, and he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely had a chip on his shoulder, and he's looking to prove something and show people what's up now.
Well, one that I've got my eye on for sure. Obviously, my boys, Samuel Fawley and Tim Dynamite, and fucking Primal Fear. They were hooking it up as a part of a 4-way the last show, I believe. And then now they're hooking it up. Mono team wise. You talk about putting me in a precarious position. I just said, give me the match.
That's why you sponsor both. That's why you sponsor the match, man. You win no matter what.
Give me the match. Like, I can't choose between these two guys again, these two teams again. Because if you remember, between me and you and, our live audience and those who are watching on replay and on fucking Instagram and all that nonsense, I had not a debate, but I had to really question back and forth over Primal Fear or Fawley and Dynamite on that first sponsorship go around, because I was like,
yep, I remember.
I was so fucking torn, because I love all four of these guys. I think they're great, and yeah, I flipped a coin, and that's how I made the decision, and then took it to my team and was like, we have an option of doing, Dynamite and Fawley or Primal Fear. You have an hour to vote, and then I will get back to you. And took a vote too. It's like, I didn't know what else to do. But these guys are hooking it up. what's the story behind this match, and how this is gonna, what implications do they have on the tag team division?
I gotta bring something up real quick. Skid Row was left with a couple of options. Skid Row, Tim Dynamite, Sami Alfazi. Our boys, man, are 1-6.
Mm-hmm.
When they left round 1, they were 0-5 or 0-6. And I told them, I said, listen, hold on, sorry. Love you guys. Boys. When I told them, I spoke to them after that match, and I let them know, I was like, listen, guys, as much as I love you, if you cannot get points on the board, then we're going to have to figure something else out because this ain't working. And I don't want you guys to waste your time. I don't want you guys to waste our time. Like, maybe we have to figure something else out. Maybe we split you up. I don't know what it is, but this isn't. And I guess they had a conversation with our tag champions, the Tonys. The Tonys were one of the teams. So when the Tonys started, Anthony Bennett was on a losing streak, and Prince Nana at the time, who was the original owner of Fight Pro, came in and he told Bennett, he said, listen, you're 0-2. If you're 0-3, you're out. Or you can do it my way and we give you a tag partner. And that was Tony Leenda, La Crema Crema. And Tony Leenda was almost like a player coach to Bennett. And they lost their first match, but then something happened and they were picking up steam. And before you knew it, this tag team who didn't get along all of a sudden was in the finals of season 1, gunning for the tag titles. They didn't get the titles, but man, did they come the closest they ever could have came. It wasn't until season 3 when they beat Vinny Pacifico and Ray Jazz that they became finally the tag team champions. Now, why do I say that? Because Tim Dynamite and Sami Alfazi are basically the same. They're like oil and vinegar with each other. Like there's a dysfunction going on, and the Tonys told them, like, you got to go hang out. You got to hang out outside. And wouldn't you know, something happened in round 2. They were able to get points on the board, but who did they get the points on? Primal Fear. They're teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They're the student versus teacher, man. The last time Primal Fear and Skid Row met was in season 1 at the Wild Card, where Primal Fear beat them for a playoff position. So now, technically, you got a 1-1 going on right now, 1 win on each person. But this is only the second time they're ever meeting as a singles tag match.
Mm-hmm.
The last one was an elimination match. So there's really something to prove here with Tim Dynamite and Sam. And I think Gabriel Hodder and Matthew Oman are a little upset at what happened, and they feel a little betrayed by their students from round 2.
I'm here for it, man. I especially, I'm a diehard tag team guy secretly. Like, it's no secret, to be fair, but like, I love the art of tag team wrestling. I think that in some cases it's a lost art in some places. So anytime you can give me a really good tag team match, I'm here for it. Like, I will invest, and I will dive in, and I will do what I need to do because I love it. I think there's nothing better than a fantastic tag match. I take that from working with Ricky and Robert in 1999 and 2000. Like, I had a 2-week run with the Rock and Roll Express, and it was like the best learning experience I ever had in my life. The best.
Better.
I mean, I learned so fucking much, and I was so close-minded to it for the first six days, and then
Yep.
I had a situation where I got talked to by Ricky Morton, and it sunk in because it made fucking sense, and to this day, credit that dude for so much. What else do we have going on? This is just we're You've only talked about 3 matches and thus far, and you talk about Serena Deeb and Gia Scott. Jesus Christ, you got Rhett Titus and you got O'Shea Edwards. Oh my God, you got the Primal Fear and Skid Row issues here.
We got the Tonys in their second title defense going up against the Academy, who are cashing in. They earned 10 points. They're cashing in 10 points. They got their coach / mentor / ace LSG, who's he's just been coaching them, man. He coached them right to this moment. He's coaching them right into this title match. They are so hyper focused on taking all the gold. I don't know if you saw. In the 4-way elimination, Colton was about to pin Tim, and LSG just jumps up and goes, no, because they needed 4 points. So LSG just made sure, he's like, you got to knock him out. You got to knock him out. And the clothesline and the cross faces to Tim, man, like it was so brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where LSG comes in, helping his boys, helping the Ace of Space Academy, putting them on the right track. And because of that, they had 10 points to cash in for this moment on September 28th.
Now, is the man on the floor gonna have a role to play? Because if he has coached this team to get to this point, you've got to imagine that there's gonna be intention somewhere to make sure these guys leave with the straps. Now, with the Tonys, I've always been impressed with the big guy. There's a lot.
Isn't he amazing?
Yes, there's so much there.
And I look at this, and this is what I mean when I say like why is nobody seeing this? Who is doing the scouting but doesn't see this guy right here, Tony Leanda, man?
Ace.
It's unbelievable to me.
I
think he's down in Puerto Rico killing it, man.
It's criminal. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's criminal. I remember one of the first matches I saw with him. Now, we started our platform literally 2 years and a month ago, essentially. So I've seen a lot in the last 2.5 to 3 years because I was watching indies for a year before I went on the air with it. Dude is criminally underrated, in my opinion.
Unbelievable. He's unreal. On the stick, in the ring, he's got it all.
He's got a presence about him. Whether he's playing. I've seen him on both sides of the equation, babyface or heel. He elicits a reaction. Yeah. Yes, this dude's got it. So the fact that he's rolling in here with the tag titles, makes me want to just pick him just because of that. but I would be telling you, I'd be lying to you if I didn't think, man. Your challengers have an extra set of eyes and an extra pair of hands on the floor, and
it's not like I can do anything about that either. Like normally, if he had gotten caught, or if the ref had, because referees have final decision.
Sure.
Just because I see it in the back, it is the referee's call. This is how we divide. This is how we make sure there are checks and balances. I could say one thing, but again, I leave it all to my refs. If the refs call it, it's good. If the refs don't call it, that's on them, man. It's all about what the ref sees. Ref's decision is final in Fight, and there has not been a moment that LSG has gotten caught or done something that I can go, that I can say, hey, listen, man, you can't be out there. So right now, my hands are tied with that. But I don't know. Leanda and Bennett, like I said, they have been a well-oiled machine. They really started from dysfunction to the machine that they are now, and they have literally taken control of what I consider is their division. This is their division to lose. So I don't think, with everything it took to get here, Leanda and Bennett are going to do everything it takes to stay there.
It's hard to bet against them, man. It really is. I just think there's definitely a wild card in play.
They need another Tony. That's what they need. So Tony.
Yeah, triple T's, man. Let's go. Let's make that happen. And you're in fucking Jersey. It's not that hard to do. Let's go find another one.
Find a Tony.
Yeah, it's not gonna be complicated. All right, so I'm very interested in that tag match, though. I am interested in the titles.
Yeah.
I think a healthy tag team division makes for a healthy company, and from the 2 matches thus far with the 4 teams attached to it, I love what I'm seeing. Who else we got going on?
So we got Moses and we got Eli Isom.
Ooh, Moses coming in with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, man. And the thing is, too, the last time I talked to Moses, he was ready to just walk. He was ready to walk. He was upset with himself. He didn't lose 2 matches, but he didn't win those matches. He wasn't involved in the pinfall. He didn't technically take the pin, but at the same time, he definitely didn't win the matches.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just frustrated, and he was ready to call it quits. And O'Shea Edwards came strolling along right next to him and just gave him this smile and walked off. And something happened. Something in Moses' eyes changed, and he said he's going to stick around. But right now, playing defense in the rankings, I mean, Eli Isom is ranked number 2 with 7 points in the hybrid division. You got number 1, Moses, who's the premier fighter, who's the premier contender. And Eli is I say he's being manipulated by O'Shea. I mean, he's walked away from Ryan Mooney, he's walked away from Cheeseburger, the Worldwide Dojo, his crew, his faction, and something's going on in his head where O'Shea is spewing some information to him, and he is just he's in a whole new world, man. He literally took out his trainer, his mentor, his best friend, Cheeseburger, hit him with 2 brain busters, and O'Shea said that wasn't enough. And then Eli picks him up and hits a jumping tombstone on him. Totally takes him out. We're not seeing Cheeseburger at round 3. I don't even think we're going to see him at round 4. This has just been something that's happened where he has snapped now, and Moses is looking to take this man out, because I think Moses' eyes are not only on the Premier Hybrid Championship, but something in Moses, it just didn't sit right at that moment. I mean, when another man looks at you and laughs the way O'Shea did at Moses, like looked him up and down, laughed, and walked off. I mean, Moses was ready to just, he knows the deal. You can't attack anybody in the back. You get attacked. I gotta suspend you. I gotta fine you. You're not gonna be around for a little bit. But Moses is calculating something, and it's going to start with Eli on September 28th.
It sounds like Moses is, on a collision course with O'Shea Edwards again, is what it sounds like. And it sounds like O'Shea is he's just pushing those buttons. He's not doing enough that warrants anything, but he's doing enough to know that he's playing a psychological game and is probably winning. I mean, I think that there's if Moses is going to have to keep his composure, he's going to have to keep it together. He's going to have to. I mean, again, violations are a thing. Same can be said for. The Titus and O'Shea match. Titus is going to have to keep his shit together, because these violations are a thing, and it can cost you. I've seen it cost people in the past. It's just if you can't keep it together, then you reap the consequences of those actions. This has just got combustible elements written all over it. That's what this one's got.
Yep. And then you go from that, and you got our guy, what we call the heart and soul of Fight, the rabid honey badger, Ryan Mooney. Quick story about Ryan. Ryan started season 1 as a division alternate. He wasn't even picked for draft selection, and he fought his way all the way to earning a draft spot in season 2. Now we don't draft anymore. After season 2, we decided to get rid of the draft because we were going to run quarterly events. So we were just going to run a ranking system, and we were going to bring people in. And if they could get points, they'd be on the board. If they had wins and losses, they'd be on the board. And Ryan, he worked so hard to get to where he was, and he got sucked into this O'Shea Edwards, Eli Isom cheeseburger situation. He's been on a bit of a losing streak. He wanted to wrestle Matt Quay at round 2 because at round 1, Matt Quay didn't really. Mooney feels some type of way because Quay took advantage of a situation. But when you're in a 4-way, it's not like Quay kicked him in the groin. Quay hit him with the elbow, 1, 2, 3, and he eliminated him from the 4-way. I mean, now Eli was out there. Eli pushed Berger. Berger pushed Eli. It got physical, and Moses and Mooney felt the need to get involved again. And then at round 2, he wanted Quay. And Berger decided that he wanted a tag match with O'Shea and Eli. And again, Mooney lost. Now, Mooney wasn't in for the pin this time. Berger took the referee's decision. But Quay made the save. Quay came out and actually saved Mooney. And Mooney didn't even thank him. Mooney was pissed off because he's involved in his stuff. And Mooney's just all over the place right now. And these two are going to meet finally at round 3. And this is, I don't want to say this is a grudge match, but there is definitely some heavy vibes on the line right now. Mooney's looking to prove something. I don't know if it's to himself or to Quay. And Quay's just looking to make things right because that's all Mooney wants. All Mooney wants is a match with Quay to prove that he can beat Quay. And Quay is going to give him the match. I just hope I hope combustible elements don't get crazy and things don't get out of hand. But this is going to be another one that has back into it.
This is about pride. That's what this is.
Yeah.
If you're taking a match or wanting a match just to prove that I can beat you, and they say, man, pride comes for the fall. I would Quay. I would be very careful, because Quay is if he takes the win here, can homeboy keep it together and accept the loss?
Shake his hand. I mean,
don't know. That's just it. Like you're playing the chords. That's such a. I can see it going both ways. I'm always here for a good heel turn. I'm always here for a good kick to the nuts. That just always. We call that the Ricky Boy brother.
I hope my heart and soul doesn't do that. He'll break my heart if he does that one. Oh man.
Gotta have that Jericho HBK moment, man. Everybody's gotta have one. There it is. Absolutely.
Where's the Jeriton 5000? And then we got our prelim matches. We got 2 debuting tag teams, Nice and Smooth, taking on the Delinquents. Both teams are very high. One's very high energy. One is unapologetically disturbing. I'm hoping that they can keep it together. But again, our tag division is wide open right now. We had a lot of dropouts, in the last couple of seasons. Dog Nation, one of our biggest tag teams, who was our first ever tag champions, they dropped out. They're not with us anymore. Vinny and Ray Jazz, they came together on a whim, winning the titles from Dog Nation, like out of nowhere, surprise. But they once they lost the titles, they kind of put the blame on each other and they dispersed. So our tag division is really wide open right now. We got a few more spots we're trying to fill. So we decided to bring in these hot, fresh new tag teams, and we're gonna see what they're all about on September 28th.
I am again here for tag team wrestling. I love the fact there are 3 tag matches on this card. I think it's great. you got to let me know if when you're looking for some teams, and I know that that you've got Tiny coming up from Florida. I'm obviously well connected to a lot of younger teams here in Florida that I would be more than happy
Perfect.
to say, hey guys, why don't you go talk to him and
Perfect.
see what he has to. I don't ever get in anybody's affairs or anybody's business. But I always say, hey, why don't you go talk to my man Ernie over at Fight? Maybe you guys can work something out. Maybe you can get an opportunity up there, and vice versa.
We're always looking. We're
Um,
always looking. There is something I'm building towards in 2026, and I am looking at Midwest guys currently right now to bring in a whole busload, not a busload, but a whole carload
mhm.
of heavyweights. I'm thinking the brain is boiling, the brain is stewing, you know. And speaking, our last match is going to feature Miss What That Lariat Do, Ruthless Lala.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those that don't know, Ruthless Lala in season 2 was on her way to a grappling division title match, and she got injured. And at the last episode of that season, things got a little heated between her and Gia. She wasn't cleared yet, and things got a little physical. And we decided, you know what? Let's make it our first ever intergender tag match. So we actually did an intergender tag match with Ruthless Lala and Isaiah Wolf taking on Miles Hawkins and Gia Scott.
Mm-hmm. Saw that.
And yeah, well, what we also saw was Gia tried to use the title, didn't use the title. Lala got a hold of the title. Lala used the title. So Lala got disqualified. On top of that, she also got a bit of a suspension because of. And the altercation between the ref really wasn't the greatest thing either. So we didn't give her a match for round 2. She's going to come back round 3. She understands that what she did was inappropriate. It was wrong. There is a code of conduct. We do not mess with our referees. Even though Gia was going to use the title, Ruthless cannot use the title. Nobody can use titles. If you're caught using the title, it is an immediate disqualification. It is an immediate disqualification strike on your record. And again, three division strikes, and you're no longer with the company anymore. So she understands. She's going to come in. We don't know who her opponent is yet. It's going to be an open challenge, and we're just hoping that Ruthless can get back on track right now. She's sitting at -3 points, all the way 12th on the rankings. So she's really working from the ground up on this one.
Well, she ain't got nowhere to go but up, apparently. Well, I guess she could go further down depending on if she was to take an L and how she took the L. That just leaves a lot to be said there. It sounds like this is going to be a great night of professional wrestling. Is what it sounds like. I always say that people's paths are drawn for a reason, and you just have to figure out what those reasons are. That's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I like the concept and I like where you're going with things, and I truly can appreciate what you're putting into the product and seeing where you were going initially, monthly, and then okay, maybe we need to back up a little bit so that we can put the best product forward, and figured out what that looked like so that you could also maintain day to day, maintain family, maintain everything else that's going on around you. So with the world of fight being what it is, with family, with sobriety, we always tend to ask people, what do you, when you get the opportunity, what do you like to do to relax? What do you like to do to escape the world and what's going on around it? When you finally get that 22 seconds of you time, what does that look like for you? And what do you like to do?
Man, you know what? When I can really disconnect, like this earpiece is in my ear 24/7. You know, this iPad is in front of me almost 24/7. I have a hair salon that's been in the family for 35 years. I'm there 5 days a week. I'm on the phone taking appointments on my days off. So when I can truly disconnect, for me, it's just hanging out with my family. It's just my kids, man. If I can hang out with my kids and just focus on them and focus on my wife, and so for me, these trips, I used to not take my family, right? I drive to Jersey by myself. Figured I was in the zone. Let me be in the zone. And then we decided to start getting a hotel out in Jersey, and now we stay the night, and they come, and I get to watch my son, who is now growing to love wrestling. Like he has a blast at our shows, a blast. He doesn't want to watch Raw. He wants to watch Fight Pro. When he comes home, he's like, "Daddy, put on Fight Pro. Put on Fight Pro. I don't want to watch AEW. I don't want to watch AEW." But what I appreciate most about this is the true disconnect I get to do that Monday when I take my kids to like the Mall of America, or I take them to Hershey Park, or I take them to Sesame Place, or we take them to whatever we're going to do for that full day. Like that version of disconnecting after being so connected, I feel like that is my one and only break. And then I have to wait another 3 months to get it. But it's the best. It's the absolute best.
I can appreciate that, man. I will have my first disconnect effective Friday. I will be, again, until we do a lot of stuff, and a lot of the stuff we do, we don't even look for and don't necessarily care for adulations or attaboys or any of that. But again, the beautiful thing about what we find with professional wrestling is we're able to connect with people. I'm flying out to LA Friday and driving from LA to Chatsworth because we've got friends at Millennium Pro Wrestling. They're having their biggest show of all time. And
that's awesome.
Because we've been able to connect with them by the same stumbling into their stuff, just like we stumbled into yours, to be fair. Like, I mean, there's such a vast, wrestling's everywhere. But the connections that we make and the people that we're able to just vibe with and like-minded, just love the business, love every aspect of it. We're going out, we're going to see their show. We're going to be, we make trips, brother. I just put it to you that way. So, I will need your schedule at some point because I will make a trip to see a show and to get a show live. And with our sponsorships, I know that you guys, let's talk about that for just a second, so we can put this out there and get it out there with what, your sponsorship packages look like. Because I know, based off of sponsoring, that, some tickets come with. And since I'm in Florida, we ask that, if you give those out, if you have kids or anybody, that wants to get into the show that maybe falling on some hardships or whatever that looks like, hey, give our tickets to them. But let's talk a little bit about the sponsorships that you have going on. And if people want to sponsor, here's how.
So our sponsorships are based off of a few aspects. Sorry, I was loading it up right now.
No, you're fine.
We do fighter sponsorships, individual sponsorships. You've done that before, Again, they come with various tickets. So like you put $100 sponsorship in, you get one general admission, a ticket. You do $150, you do two tickets. $200, you do 3 tickets. If you want to sponsor one of our champions, and there's other additional stuff that comes with that. Logo branding. If you're local, tables, like we got a pizza place, Jacob's Pizza, that comes in, and they sell their pizza right there. There's another company called Smacks Delivery that comes out from New York, and they sell their products there too. What else? If you got branded merch, the fighters will come out with branded merch, with your branded merch on, live in-ring commentary stuff. There's different levels, and another one is we have created commercials for our clients as well, or for our sponsors as well. You know, like we do these 15-second commercials. So like, again, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to talk because it's either going to be your logo or if you got video that you want to give me. But for the match, you know, OJ's going to say this match is sponsored by blah, 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 and give the pitch. And, you know, during that whole sequence, it's all about the sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So the sponsor's commercials up there, the logo, where they could find him, et cetera, et cetera. We also got, if you want to enjoy the experience a little more, there's a main event sponsorship, and you know we put your logo on the entrance curtains. We put it on the skirts. You can, if you're local and you want to come, you can walk out with the champion in the main event. You know, be part of the whole championship introduction. So we try to incorporate and give an experience to all sponsors that come with us. Again, the whole point of doing the sponsorship was really to be like, I grow, you grow. You know, so how can we grow even more for the businesses that are coming to help us and support us? And these were the ideas that I came up to, and everything is done in house. So it's me personally, mom and popping this whole thing. Like I've created the commercials for all of our sponsors. I'm doing the logo graphics, everything. This has been a big learning process for me. When I started back in 2021, the posters I was making back then to the ones I'm making now, like I'm just waiting for my Canva graduate's degree to come in, you know. It's just crazy.
Brother, I use Canva too. It's it's
The
a
best, man.
it's
The
a lifesaver. It totally is.
between Canva and InShot and all these other things, man, I'm just, you know, I'm immersed in it. I'm immersed in
Yeah.
every aspect of it. The only thing I'm not doing is holding a camera.
I don't know, man. I'm so weird with like my shit. I'm so simple. Like I get people that again, this has nothing to do with professional wrestling. I ask them, how come you don't have any layouts? How come you don't do this or do that? Why is your black backdrop? Because I'm simple, bro. I don't
Just keep
I
it
don't
simple.
require all that. I just need, you know, I love it, don't get me wrong, but that's not who I am. I've done all that. That's, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
love to find what fits me, and this just it. It's like you keep it
and what
simple.
works.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know that this is going to
Your
be
logo looks great.
that
Your
is
logo
all
looks great. I
like
love your logo.
that is all courtesy of Todger Tabar Ramsey,
Yeah,
who we just recently revamped our logo, and I love this logo. I think it looks nice and clean. I think it to me,
yep,
like I told him, I was like, it gives me like Mercedes vibes, like a BMW vibes, like sports car. Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
It's slick. It's very slick.
it's clean, it's crisp. It
Yep.
looks really good, and I don't know how he made it or what software he made it with. I know it wasn't a Canva design. I know he but it was
No, no, no.
but it was he did some good work here, and I love it too, man. I think it's nice and clean, and just it's a different, it adds a different layer. That logo is its own graphics, its own ring aprons. It's on a ring apron in the UK. It's on a ring apron in Australia. It's this logo
Awesome.
has seen a lot in such a short period, because like I said, we just did that like not even 2 months ago, not even. But we're just here, man. We're here to try and enjoy the ride and make the genuine connections along the way, like we've done here today. I didn't think that when I hit you up and said, "Hey, man, I want to try and sponsor somebody," that it would lead to getting you on a show, because that was never my intentions were never to, hey, man, you want to come talk to me? It was never that situation. Like it was almost like when you hit me back, because I would, hand to God, and I've done sponsorships all over the world. You're the first person to actually come back and say, "Hey, man, would you, we did some business before. Would you be interested again?" You would think with a lot of companies that there would be more people that would come back to you and say, "Hey, we want to try and do something else here." because it's about relationships and investing in.
Yep.
And when you did that, like I just immediately, I didn't even ask my team. I was like, "Yep, what do you got?" Because I thought that was so, like, I don't know how to word it, or how to word it to where I'm not trying to sound weird or anything like that, but it was just kind of like uh, acknowledging the fact that we were here to help and that we could probably do it again. And that we were getting something out of it both ways.
Like I told you, I've owned. My parents have been in the hair business for 35 years, and we come from a small town. And the biggest thing my father ever taught me was, local support. Right now, obviously, you're in Florida, so but at the end of the day, professional wrestling is about support. And this is local to me. This is local. This is finding like-minded people who are looking to develop and build together and grow. And that's what it's all about to me. It's just about taking those people that got your back and people that you want to invest in and you want to grow with, and growing with them. And that's what this is about: creating a family, creating a bond, creating this thing. When I talk about, it's about the fan experience. It's about the sponsors. It's about the talent. It's about the production. It's about all of that. It's about being involved with these dojos and these training facilities. It's all coming together. Like, this isn't about ego. This is not about ego. Like, I am no better than anybody else, man. I am no better than anybody else. I am just somebody who's looking to create opportunity and build with people and grow with people. And if it takes 20 years, if it takes 2 years, whatever the case may be, I am here for the journey, because that's what it is. It's not about the destination.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I truly appreciate you giving me some time and to really hear about Fight and know where it came from and connect with you on a different level that I didn't think that I had no clue when we were walking into this thing that would be a thing. But here it is. And it has truly been a fun conversation, man. I always like to turn the floor over to you and plug away anything that you want to throw out there. We know that September 28th is the day. Let's mark your calendars. And if you're in the Jersey area, you need to go ahead and get your tickets to this event. What do you want to say to the people? What would you like to plug? The floor is yours. The time is yours.
Well, listen, September 28th, enter the Fight Round 3, man. Just go to enter the Fight Round 3. That's Fight with 2 T's, round3.eventbrite.com. And you can use the promo code Round 3. All platforms, even YouTube, if you write in at Fight Pro, Fight with 2 T's, PROW, and you can find us everywhere. The website is down. We're trying to aesthetically create a better website at the moment, because we have so much going on with the rankings and the rosters and stats and all that stuff. So if you want to sponsor Fight Pro, Fight with 2 T's at gmail.com. And listen, if you're listening to this right now and you are in the Jersey area and you want to claim the tickets that would be for CCP, you can hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'll honor it, and we'll make your experience as fun as possible. And listen, March, Rise of Champions. That's the show I want you to show up to.
March.
Rise of Champions 2.
Okay.
I'll have the date for you when it's time, but that's the show you want to come to.
The sooner
that's going to be our...
The sooner I get a date, the better. Because I'm looking at March for Chapter 3 for CCP podcasting shows. So I need to make sure that we line up dates that are not around each other, if that's the case.
Right.
And then, of course, obviously for me, the cheaper flights are the earlier I book them. So
it'll probably be the last Sunday of the month. That's usually how we operate. Last Sunday of the month.
So we're gonna have to take off Monday from the real world. Got it. We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Just keep me in the loop on it for real, guys.
You got it.
This has been a fantastic conversation, man. I know hopefully it's the first of many that we have on the air or off the air. My doors are always open to you. I tell everybody when they come on our show, it's not just a one-time thing. It's not about an instant gratification. It is about a long-term relationship is what we like to build over short-term gains any day of the week. Folks, for you who are out there right now, and I'm talking to each and every one of you in our chat, I'm also talking to you on social media, and I'm talking to you on YouTube if you're watching there. If you have not done so, the easiest way that you can support independent wrestling is by sharing, and subscribing where you can. Fight Pro keeps it pretty fucking simple. Fight with 2 T's, PROW over on Instagram. And again, get those tickets over at Eventbrite. Enter the Fight Round 3. It is coming up on September the 28th. This is going to be a show that's going to be jam-packed full of fantastic talent. You're not going to want to miss this. And we need to circle around after the show and discuss what we saw at the show. Or maybe when the show is out there for viewing, maybe we get you to come back and do a watch along with us, and we watch the show back and get your insight and get your take on it, because our audience would love that shit. They eat it up, I'm telling you. Last Sunday of the March is 29th. Is that what you're telling me, Paul? Appreciate you, buddy. You're incredible for being up at 2 a.m. over in the UK. For Mr. Ernie.
2 a.m. Oh my God.
I am Chris Page. We will see you next time.